So, yeah, I have gone through so many freaking iterations of my GitHub today. GitHub deployments. Look at this. Look at this mess. Nope. Definitely nope. Nope. I think the last time I got one to work was way back here, 81. So I'm a solid 24 times I've ran it today, at least since I last got a positive run, which didn't work. So that was a no working work. It didn't. And most of, in fact, all of these previous runs, you see all of these check marks, all these positives, they didn't work either. None of them have worked since like the very first one I did, and that one didn't have much functionality in it. I did not have auth in it and stuff. Since then, I've connected. That was like, I think when I only had the front end working, and I was just getting the front end going. Then I had AMG auth, and all of my other services I started implementing. And I kept running into issues that just one after the other wouldn't work for whatever reason. And here's the thing. Docker is robust. I mean, it can do a lot of stuff. It's really kind of cool. But there's some default behaviors for Docker that are kind of not great. Well, what I mean is, okay, so you have a Docker file. Every project that needs to be individually contained in its own container has to have its own project file. See, look, I've still got an error going. Ooh, goody. Heaven forbid it work on the first try. On the 6 error. I'll have to look at that. But but Docker's got at least 2 files, if not 3, that you can manipulate. Okay, so you have a Docker Compose base. Docker Compose base is basically the common values that might exist for all of your services or whatever you're deploying across all environments. So in the example that I have in mine, and you can put all the same stuff in your base as you can in any one of the environment ones. But typically you would put stuff that is not environment specific. So like you don't have any test or prod things, but these are all going to reference the same locations. The Docker file's in the same place. It's going to have the same base context. It's going to have, they're going to all have the same dependencies on each other. You might have some basic other database pieces that have to go in as well. Ultimately, you do have it's usually pretty simple, but it also simplifies your other Docker files, like in the sense of my test one. I call this one Test Cloud because that's where I'm putting it. It's in the Docker Hub on the cloud. But you can see here, everything has test-specific values. You know, you've got DB test, you know, the Docker Compose. This is the base file. That's just what you're extending that base file here. And then you have your volumes, which is just referencing the database so that it's persistent. That's only going to exist for the database. You're making a persistent test Mongo database. So if I were to do one for prod, I would have one for prod, and that would make it a persistent production database. So anyway, you're putting all these things in, but one of the problems is you can put all the same environment values and handle things similarly. Like you can have an emb file setting, you can have volumes that reference values that are basically what volumes does is it references resources on your machine, on the host machine, like on my machine. Problem is, any of those resources won't be available to anyone else. They have to have their own resources, which is fine. If you're designing it that way, but I wanted to not have my M file be required on every system. I want it to be able to load up and put the M file in, and that should just not be dependent on anyone. I don't want anybody else who's helping me work on this, any other system, any other download have to have that stuff on there. It just didn't make sense. I don't mind it having to rebuild the database because I have it set up to dynamically create a new database if it doesn't exist yet. Now, I don't know what exactly. I mean, really, the database exists once. I have no idea how this works on a phone, right? So it's got to create this database, and then we're going to have storage, and we're going to have to back it up and do all that kind of thing, make sure we don't lose data. But ultimately, we're only going to have one production database, right? Because we can't have it initializing every time it deploys, except for maybe the first time it actually goes up. Anyway, so it came down to, so if I go look at all these things that I created, the last one that succeeded, it finally built. Now all that means is that it did all of my, I removed a bunch of references. See, nothing failed. And let's go look at the oh, wait a minute. Oh, shoot. I think I might know what happened. Oh, maybe not. Let's go see. Build and push. Oh, maybe here's the top. Oh, I guess we do. We're okay. So the first thing it's doing is it deploys, it's creating the Mongo database, then it goes through and creates each one of the other services. That's what the build and that's the deploy part of it. But if everything else works along the way and we have environment variables and everybody's happy, things get to go and run the way they're supposed to. I just want to see if there's actually any errors. There are times when you get errors that don't. Oh, that's not a problem. What else we got? Internal errors. Those are just object handlers or imports. Nope, I think we're good. So no errors at all in that bunch, which is good. That means everything kind of was able to be recognized and it built successfully, which is all a happy camper. And then we go to deploy services, which is what actually puts it out on the environments. Now, if these things are supposed to they're supposed to run, see, you can see it running, creating, everything kind of coming up, and everything's healthy and starting. I don't know. Here's what I don't understand. How come these so many? Starting game plan, starting playbook, but I feel like it's running. I don't know how these. I really don't know how these containers interact with each other. I almost feel like they're creating. It's like AMG auth creates for itself the MongoDB stuff, and then Gateway creates that and AMG auth, and then Game Plan creates AMG auth and Gateway, and this one creates for everybody, which is the whole kit and caboodle. So I'm not exactly sure how this works or why it works this way. It feels like it's loading up containers for every single thing, or maybe it just has to do with how the logs are. Maybe it's just logging the whole logs, and it's putting. Oh, that might be what's going on. Each one logs the entire log. It's bad logging is what it is. Okay, I see what's going on now. All right. But the missing environment variable does not seem to be an issue. I gotta definitely clean this up. This is way too much crap. But all right, so it's just putting a bunch of stuff out. So it did run, but as you can see, when I attempted to run my local, it still blew up. Unable to get image Mongo 6 errored during connect. All right, let's go see what Mongo 6. Mongo number, is it Mongo? Oh, Mambo number 5. That's what it is. Not I keep thinking Mongo 6 is like Mongo number Mambo number 5, which is that a dance or is that just a song? I think that's just a song. The image is Mongo 6. Docker file. I may have to. Let's go see the compose. I don't think there's much going on in here. Oh. Okay, I see the problem. We have this happening twice. I don't think we want double image. Let's close this. Let's go to test. So we got image, container name. Got a command mode. Okay, so I think we're good. Let's try it again. I don't know if that's for sure the problem, but we definitely had an issue with it happening. Let's take this up here. Let's see what AI has to say before I close that off. This Docker dash compose worked perfectly with the GitHub workflow. However, getting an error locally when I pull down the images Docker. Let's see what this says. Docker not being properly started or configured on your local machine. Wait, what? Oh! Oh, do I have Docker closed? It's something way less complicated than all that. Let's actually start Docker. I don't know why did I close it. I had it open probably because I was trying to clean up crap. Alright, let's go to my containers here. Let's go and delete this one. It'd be kind of good if this would just, you know. Oh, wait, nope, that's not going to work. Ah, it's stuck in French fry. You can't clear it. It won't go away. There we go. Wow, we still got problems. Failed to resolve something or other. Well, that was the problem there. How to resolve Docker IO. Oh, these are. These are warnings, but I don't know what they mean. Failed to resolve reference. That is the one I did, right? Yeah. Alright, so we're getting close. A lot of stuff is working. A lot of stuff is not working. I want to see what... These are warnings, though, so I don't know how bad that is. I don't know. Let's go see what it's referring to. MB452F0. Why are you doing that? This is likely due to a mismatch between the image tags used during the build and the tags used during the pull. Still doing all this stuff. Seems like a lot. I shouldn't be doing this much, to be honest. It's like it's rebuilding. Shouldn't be building this right now. This is not normally what it does. Normally if things are working, you just get straight to, it just downloads them and runs them. There's nothing to do because they've already been built. So it's already a little wonky. But I feel like this, I mean, this is a totally different error. I mean, this is like way better. I mean, this is just like, I want to say way better. I mean, it's way better that it's way different than the error that I've been dealing with for the last week. Because I think I finally, okay, so what ended up happening, and this is why it's been a week and a half almost of doing this stupid Docker stuff, is I'm learning Docker. That's what happened. I'm learning how to do the GitHub, or the GitHub continuous integration, and I'm doing it with AI, which, by the way, helpful, but also oftentimes not helpful. Oh boy, I go around in circles with this thing, man. And AI has a tendency to, it never gives up, but it will also stop giving you new answers. It'll keep trying stuff. And a lot of it's me learning, realizing that this, you just have to give AI the entire full picture, and if you don't know what you're working with well enough, you don't know what the full picture is. You don't know what's causing problems and hindrances. And a week and a half into this, I'm like, finally my brain's going like, well, if this does this and this does that and this, well, then I need to do this and I can't do that, and I don't want that. You know, it's like you start cleaning up in your mind, everything starts to organize, and then you're like, you know, I don't want stupid volumes for the M file. I just realized what that is, and it's like, I know I'm saying like a lot. I got to stop doing that. But ultimately, there's just this big, the light bulb kind of goes on. You know, you're just realizing what all these these lines and features are doing, and you're starting to understand that. Okay, wait a minute. We have this doing this here, which is counteracting this over here, which is causing problems with that over there, and that can't run because of that. So certain places work because it doesn't have to deal with that, and you're like, oh my gosh, it's just you just can dig yourself a big mess of a hole if you don't really kind of start figuring it out. And ultimately, hey, Preya Code, hey. Let's see. My Spanish is really really weak. I don't know what "ya" is, but you say how many years? I don't know what "tem" is either. Boche tem. Unless you're speaking in Italian or something. It looks like you're asking me how many years something or other. It's not very helpful. Sorry. Here, I'll find out. I'll find out what you're saying here. There's probably a translator on. Now you can't typo and speaking another language. Because then you mess up my ability. Oh, it's Portuguese? Oh my gosh. Oh, you asked me how old am I? You know, that's the first thing that came to mind. And the only reason I thought cuánto años is, you know, that's Spanish too. You're from Brazil, so okay. But how old do you think I am? I don't usually volunteer that. I'm not not like a woman protective of it, but I don't know. I just always curious what people think how old I am before I volunteer that information. Just because, I don't know. I'm always curious how far off they are, or how old I actually look to people. But let's just say I'm not in this. I'm not in the spring of my life. It's like, we'll say that. Now I'm not in the late winter either, but let's just say I've got a few years. You're from Brazil, huh? You know, I don't know a lot of people from Brazil. I have a friend of mine who went down to Argentina for what do you call it, a missions trip for 2 years. So, but not, you know, I mean, that's in the general vicinity of Brazil. It's in the same continent. Sorry, that's about as close as I can say. I know a guy who got within a few hundred miles of where you are. Sorry. So, is that your name, Preacode? Now I know you. I know you well. Preacode? Or is it just code? So yeah, what was I? Oh yeah, I was trying to figure out why I'm getting a weird resolution here on my Docker images. And yeah, it's been a learning experience with Docker, man, but it's cool. It's going to be helpful, I know. In the end, I will be happy I got all this done, but it's just been kind of a roller coaster. 1 second I thought I was all done, and then as you try to add more complex functionality, you realize that your messed up files that were working locally don't work anymore, because you have to start ironing out all the little wrongs in order for it to do more refined things. Everything has to be lined up right. And so I've learned a ton about Docker recently, and now I'm starting to feel like, hey, I kind of have an idea, at least how the CI/CD stuff works, and what it's going to take to, you know, keep moving along. Once I get this figured out. So why? So it's saying something about the tag is not right. See, it thinks I should go with tag lower, but isn't tag? Is it because it's not the same? Yeah, but the thing is, see, tag lower, the reason I debate tag lower is because I use tag lower here, which is basically just turning the tag into a lowercase thing, right? But I thought, because see, we're using tag here, but tag lower, which is up here, see, tag lower is just taking tag and turn it, and then tag gets reassigned back to tag lower. So I don't think. Let me go see my Docker Hub. Hey, go away. Docker Hub. Okay, so it is all lowercase, like it's supposed to be. But verify image availability, update file uses the correct image tags. Here's an example of how to update the file, but this includes ensuring that the tag and tag lower variables are correctly set and used consistently. I've been arguing with AI for the last week. I'm like, come on, AI, man, did you look at the files before you started saying that? Well, do I really need to use tag lower as it is set in the GitHub workflow, but it is then just reassigned back to the tag variable. actually. So tag equals tag. Hey, I appreciate it, man. Thanks for coming by, saying hi. I'm kind of in the early side of things, I think. For most, I mean, it's 9 o'clock here p.m. too, but 2 a.m., man. Get some rest. Maybe I'll see you during the day at some point. Let's see, 8 hours from now, you'll be 10 o'clock in the morning, so 8 hours. I'll be getting up in about 8 hours. I'll be back online in about 10 or 11. So maybe I'll see you again, man. Stop by, say hi. Maybe we could chat a bit. But yeah, until then, man, take it easy. Sleep well. God bless. Oh, great. Give me something else. See, I can make my way through Spanish, maybe even Spanish. Maybe even a little bit of Italian, if only because they're so close. But Portuguese, man, you're going to make me go somewhere and translate it, because I'm pretty sure the words are all a lot different. I mean, obviously not all of them. Não sei o que estou fazendo, mas se você traduziu isso e deseo boa sorte em seus objetivos. Let's see if I can take a guess. More a traditional. So nope, can't do it, man. I'd rather just. That's just too many words there I can't quite put together. Let's see. I don't know what you're doing, but if you translate this, I wish you good luck in your endeavors. Thanks, man. Take it easy. I am developing a game. It's a football game, American football. So there you go. This is just me setting up the... I need the background pieces. If you check out some of my other videos, you can see some of the UI I've created so far for the website, or part of it. But I am creating a football simulation game. It's going to be interesting. Trust me, it's going to be unlike any football simulation game, American football simulation game you have ever seen. I promise. Unlike any of them. It'll do stuff like the other ones, but it won't look and it's the goal and the premise of my game is going to be different from anything you've seen so far. And I'd love to talk to you more about it, but you need some sleep, man. So it's 2 a.m. Go rest. Have a good one. God bless. I mean, unless you really want to stick around, but don't. I wouldn't. 2 a.m. I'd be like, no, I'm out of here, man. Sleepy bye. But I appreciate the well wishes. All right, so let's back to it now. For anyone else watching this, what Docker is it's a containerized, we'll call it containerized environments. So you develop your code on your local machine. You try to get things working. But you need somewhere to put it, right? You either need to send it out to production, or you need to send it out to test, or you just need some place to give it a encapsulated position that always has the exact same code, right? So that when it's put anywhere, it'll just run, because it's going to run on the same code that your development environment runs on. So you create these builds, and then you send them out to Docker, and then Docker can run them using all your code, and it should run exactly like yours runs. And what Docker is going to allow me to do is have a test environment and ultimately a production environment, which I'm still hoping to get done this week. If I can get fully functional test environment, I think I can get to the production one pretty quick, because it's just a copy. It's really the same, except there's one extra step that makes it a little bit more challenging. Right now, I have my test environment images for Docker get created as soon as I check in my code. So that's the continuous integration part of it. I check in my code to GitHub. GitHub says, oh, we got a new check-in. Let's take this stuff and throw it out to test. So we got this test image with all of the code that's in that branch. And then eventually I'll do a pull request that'll put my branches into the main. And then the main will get built and sent out to production. Now there'll be a production image for Docker. But it'll take one extra step and it'll actually send it back down to my machine and build a running version of my code so that I can make it accessible to people who are like, to those people who want to help, back the project, who want to be part of the testing process and, help me push this thing forward. So I will be creating accounts for those people. So it is going to be kind of a, what do you call it? Support-based feature, and of people being able to be allowed to kind of start playing with and using the application as I create it. Now, ultimately, the UI, the coolest UI portion of this will be in Unity, written on Android. So it'll be an Android application for your Android phones. Ultimately, yes, I'll go to Apple, but that's secondary because I have an Android phone. And Android actually is the bigger market. There's more people using Androids than there are Apple. Apple lost that a long time ago. In fact, Samsung by themselves outsells Apple. So Android is just, it's quite a bit ahead of Apple at the moment. But Apple has still got all of those diehards, all you diehard Apple people out there. And I know I'm not gonna forget you. When I'm actually getting close to something where I need to do it, I will recompile it and I will definitely make it available to everybody. And ultimately, I hope it'll be. I expect it'll be cool enough that everybody will want the app. But hey, that's me being. Oh, what the heck? Oh, go away. What? At some point I'll be there. Okay. Huh. I didn't realize. Okay, so I have a bot. I have a bot called Restream. Well, it's the Restream. Restream has a bot, and I use Restream. And on my local chat, oh no, I guess it doesn't. Oh, never mind. Ignore me. I don't know what I'm talking about. I was going to say it translates. It doesn't translate. But it just looked different on there for some bizarre reason. I don't know. Anyway, so that's what Docker is. Docker is creating environment setup for me to allow me to have my code go into various environments for testing and production availability. It won't be the final production availability. At that point, I'll be trying to move to something a little bit more robust, like an Azure or AWS. I don't know if I'll do AWS. I don't know anything about AWS, but I do know Azure a little bit. So I'll probably go there. I might even go somewhere else if it's cheaper. Or maybe I'll just buy a really good computer and host it myself. I don't know. I don't know if I can guarantee the uptime though, so I don't know if I would want to do that. I like to have a guaranteed, or better uptime like these games typically do. So who knows? If you have a single computer with a backup on it, even if I'm only running, if I'm only running a couple hundred. I don't even a couple hundred people on a single, even on a high-end server, is still going to be quite a load. So I don't know. I don't know if I want to do that. If I get 100 people on my app, I'll be happy on a consistent basis. No, it'd be cool to see it actually take off, but I'm way away. This app isn't that close, so we're a year out from anything resembling a full-fledged app. So yeah, we're a little off on that. Okay, that's really weird. So it says, All right, look at this. So this is a thing about AI that does weird stuff. So I said, okay, it says up here, use tag lower. So I have tag lower. Tag lower is a variable I create right here in the GitHub setup, right? But what GitHub is doing, what I'm doing here is I'm actually taking the tag, and then I am creating a lowercase version of the tag lower, and then I'm assigning it back to tag. So tag is still the lowercase version, right? And then it assigns it to the GitHub variable, environment variable. And then everything else along the way just uses tag. So you got tag, 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 everything's tag. There's no more tag lower on here, I don't think, besides that one. Tag underscore lower. Yeah, see, there's only the two, the sign and the reassign, and that's it. Okay, so it says put tag lower and all these things. And I'm like, why am I putting tag lower and all that? I go, do I need to do that if I already have, if tag is just being assigned back? So I go, so down here it goes, oh yeah, you don't need to use it. Just use, if you're just signing back to tag and using it consistently, you can simplify your workflow by using just tag lower. Well, yeah, I could theoretically take tag lower out and just put it everywhere that tag is. So then it says, here's the updated test environment YAML, okay? Look what it did. It took tag lower out. It says you could use just tag lower. Use tag lower and said just reassign it back to tag variable prior to any other usage. Essentially the tag equals tag lower. And it says here, oh, yeah, then it says you are correct. Or by using tag lower directly and removing the reassignment. But then down here, it's just going, everything is tag. So it took tag lower out completely. It says use tag lower, and then it says, hey, well, we're just going to take tag lower out completely. Now, I didn't really think about it. I mean, it's kind of semantics, but really what we're doing is we are trying to lowercase this thing, right? So the tag variable, which is what we're putting out there, I don't know, I guess you could get rid of tag lower, but I don't understand why. Maybe there is something weird about that, but this is the tag variable getting set, so it should be using tag. The thing is, all built fine. But I'm trying to. It's almost like it didn't get the lowercase version of things, so I am tempted to just reassign it back, turn it back to lowercase, and then just do this. Kind of like it says. It just makes sure you're only working with tag at this point. Huh. I do need to get it to reference itself correctly in the image file, though, because so if we have the see, this is the Docker Compose. And we're using tag here, so I want to make sure it's always referencing the same. It sounds like it's having trouble referencing back to the tag image. And if that makes a difference, then hallelujah. Hallelujah. We'll go with that. Should only take a second to rebuild this. But I feel like we're really, we finally got through everything. This is kind of a minor change. I don't know that it's going to do anything, but I want to give it a chance. If I can get rid of that warning, that would be happy camper days. Got a lot of weird warnings. I don't like any of this. And that could be from the references problems. See all these cancels? Can't have that. So we are going to have to try it again. But we are so much further along than we were, man, with all those X's. finally got it taking my environment variable, which was the key element, to get an environment. Okay, so here's the thing. When I was trying to get the Docker going, I discovered what volumes was actually doing. What it does is it creates a local store of what whenever you pull the Docker images, it's going to read from the host local store items that you map. So that's what the volume stuff is. So that's like if I want to have a persistent database, I have to create a local store or volume for that database. So when it creates the database, starts putting stuff into the database, then whenever it goes out and runs, it comes back and goes, oh, there's already a database here, and it'll use it. But that only works to the point that it works on my machine. So like if someone else who's helping me develop this goes and creates the app on their machine, it will have a different database. It'll create their own database in their own volume, and it'll create one locally for them in that same spot. Okay, but I need a .m file, and it is considered insecure to check it into GitHub. So I made sure GitHub does not check in any environment files, and instead I set all those environment variables in GitHub secrets. GitHub secrets then in turn, when the GitHub workflow runs, it will generate the M files and put them in the images where they need to be so that they can be referenced accordingly. And so when the app tries to run, it can find the M files that it needs to be able to process them. But I've had no end of pain and agony from trying to get the right reference to that, and that was because of all the different Docker files that I had and the way they were calling and referencing and the position of my files. Apparently the position of my files was way complicated for this thing, or at least for me to figure out. Okay, so it looks simple enough. This is my parent folder, and I've got the workflows, and I got the Docker images the Docker compose files, all at the root of the application. This is the entire application, right? Now there's two pieces to this application right now. There's the PFFM web and the PFFM Go MS, which is the Go microservices. Now inside of the Go microservices, there's a bunch of microservices. It's got AMG auth, you've got the game plan, and you've got the gateway service, which is the traffic controller for all the calls. You've got playbook, and I've got a bunch of others here. You can see they're not all fully functional yet. Very little of this thing is fully functional, but some of them exist more than others. And all that stuff has to be made to be able to reference and call back to where my M file is over here in the common folder, because it has a lot of shared values that they're all using. So they all need to have that. And I learned some weird things about how Docker files work. They're containerized, yes, and they can reference each other, yes, but common is not built. It's not its own service. So in order for that common stuff to be available to all these other guys, they all have to copy common into their own container to use what's in there, which is kind of interesting. I didn't know that. But so I have all these shared files, really aren't shared. They're just copies inside of every container. So kind of weird. Now the other ones can all reference each other, but that's just the thing about the common stuff. It's literally copies in the containers. Now this runs about 6 minutes. So, and I could probably shorten that some, because I'm finding that some of my logging is very redundant. Like very redundant. And that's because I was trying to pin down where my M file was. Like, when does it work? When does it not work? Where's it at when it's failing? And yeah, so I got a lot of that nonsense. So I have to clean up a lot of my code, my logging stuff. Like for example, you got look at this mess. Let's see if I have it still. So we do a build, and then we log the images. This is just so that I can see that the images all got created correctly, right? I probably don't need that anymore, but I have that. So then we have to do a push, and it goes through and builds up all of the push files and actually creates, but I have this logging here, which is going in and saying, oh, all right, well, let's check for the M file. Let's put it out there. Let's make sure we actually have an M file that's getting created. It's kind of cool. The log, though, is actually smart enough to not show it. It'll show you that there is a value assigned to it, but that's it. But again, probably don't need that anymore now that things are working. But then you come down to this, the debug M files. Again, I'm checking to see if the M files exist after we did this. I think that's actually almost the same call I did. I guess not. I think at one point it was duplicated. I was calling it twice. But we call this here, which is another set of logging for the M files. And then we go down here and guess what? More logging for the M files. It's basically this thing again. Docker run, entry point, secrets, blah, 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 appcommon.env. It's this thing, except this one has a condition that says if it's not there, run this. So yeah, I got a lot of redundant logging. And then I go in here and I go first start just MongoDB and watch its logs. So it's going to go blah, 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 and then we start dumping out a bunch of logs again. And excuse me, it just loggy, 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 loggy. And we just kept going down and adding more stuff. I go front end, and if it's failure, we do some more logs. Docker compose. Holy moly, I had so many things going on. And then I like, do I even need this call? Look, Docker compose test cloud. Oh no, this is just logs for it. And yeah, I'm thinking a lot of this doesn't need to exist. I could probably dump all these logs, and it might even speed up just because I'm dumping a bunch of logs out. Okay, so it ran. Let's go see if this is any better. So I'm going to take this, going to go down here. Put that in there. And we're back at the root. Whoa, what did I just do? Whoa, that is totally not what I thought I was doing. That was weirdness, man. Ah, did it again. So we're still having issues. Why is this doing this? Which means it's going to try to build it. Which means it's not getting its stuff right. Dang McNabbits. It's always something new. It's like, I got my M files working, yes! And now it's like, but we can't find each other. Playbook test, Docker. Oh, see, this is still capital. Why is this looking for capital? I lowercased all these. Okay, so something's weird. Failed to resolve. You know what? I'm gonna do. I don't know. I thought I deleted all of that, but see, it's looking for capitalizations here. This should not exist. Where is it looking for that? It's definitely seeing a case problem. And it is case sensitive. It's stupid that way. So go messing it. It's not finding that anywhere. Alright, what is going on? Why is it... Oh, we have... Alright. Oh, I used up all of my all my free AI uses today. It's like, that was quite the thing. I want to give Claude a chance. I go back and forth between these two. On here, I will tell you, they're not as good as the out there version. The ones inside of Copilot, kind of weak. I don't know what it is. They're not as clear. They don't give you as much background. They don't actually look at your files as well as you would hope they would. It's kind of weak. You're almost better off just using the outside one sometimes. But this is free. You don't run out. So there's that. Okay. I have noticed, though, there are some situations where it might actually behoove me to dump some of these. It's weird because, man, look at all these. Oh, I built so many. None of those are uppercase, so I don't know what it's complaining about. Let's go here. Oh, that one's already done. Already? Oh, that one just never started. Still no uppercase. When did I get rid of the? I must have got rid of the uppercase stuff a long time ago. Oh, there we go. Go MS. Way back here, my last uppercase. Then I switched to lowercase. Ah, yes, the old days of uppercase. The reason I switched to 100% lowercase is because apparently there's a couple of Docker commands that don't like uppercase, like Docker run. Or is it Docker run or Docker? I don't know. It's one of these logging ones I did. Did not like it. All right, so we have no more tags. Okay, so I should be able to go back here. I have no tags. Everything's good and hunky-dory. That means I do have to go back here. And then we're going to go ahead and click on him. And I will rerun this, but it basically reruns it with the exact same. It's kind of weird. How do I change this name? I mean, it is test. I guess that's the name of my environment. I don't know. So it's going to create those. I don't know how long it'll take, but it shouldn't take. I'd imagine it wouldn't take the full 6 minutes because I didn't change anything. We'll see. I how can I get rid of these names when I run my Docker compose dot Basically, I'm asking it the same question I just asked I asked GPT, my wife. She's been resistant to using ChatGPT. She writes to me today, texts me, goes, I caved. I go, what? She goes, I installed ChatGPT, I guess on her phone. I don't know. I didn't even know they had an app. I just use a website. Oh. No, that's not it. They are being pushed. Doesn't. I was hoping this was not going to take as long, but so much for hope. Have you ever done Insanity? It's a workout program. The original Insanity. There's a Max Insanity too, which are 30-minute workouts, which are nice because they're always 30 minutes. But the Max Insanity are 45 to 55 minutes. And the name is pretty adequate. It's pretty descriptive. It's hard. And I did it with my sons. Gosh, I don't know, 10 years ago. We did all the full 2 months. And it's serious cardio stuff, right? But I've been doing it off and on. Every now and then I'll do 1 or 2 different discs. I won't do 2 in a day, but I'll do 1 or a couple times a week or something. But I always do like second month, the hard ones, because there's some early ones and there's a second one. It's always a test, always to see if I could still do it, make sure I haven't, let myself go too much. And I got through it. Wasn't too bad, actually. I don't know if I did great, but some of the stuff was easier, because some of the work exercise I've been doing was easier, but at the same time, some of the work was... the thing is with cardio, if it's easier, you just do more. So you're always just as tired, no matter what. There's no such thing as a cardio workout getting easier. It shouldn't be. Like if you're doing jogging and you go out and you run 5 miles a day, but you always run at the same pace, then you're probably not doing it right. Because you should be either picking up your pace, picking up your distance, or adding difficulty to it. Like that would be like maybe some higher steps, running some hills, you should be doing something to challenge yourself. If you don't challenge yourself and you're holding steady at the same thing, what's going to happen? This is what you're going to do. You're going to eventually do less. You're just going to go, I don't need to do 5 today. Let's do 4.5. Let's do 4. And you start doing 4 more consistently. Then you're like, I can do 4. I know if I can do 4. I was doing 5 just a few months ago. I could probably do 3 today. And you start doing 3. And you just get slower and slower. You start doing less and less effort. Before you know it, you're barely doing anything at all. And people always wonder why they get weaker over time. And I don't think it's always because they're getting weaker over time. I think a lot of times it's just because people stop trying. If you can do 200 and you're not trying to do 210 on a bench press, then you're going to end up doing 190. There's going to be a change. I'm telling you, you will change. You will either get weaker because you're putting in less and less effort, or you're going to push yourself and you're going to get stronger. Or at the very least, always have a cap of 200, because you can do 210 or 212 or 215. So 200 is always there for you. But if you only ever do 200, one of these days it won't be there for you. It's going to go, yeah, I think you're only doing 190 today. And if you don't push yourself, you'll never get back to 200. So I'm telling you, push yourself. If you're working out, exercising, you've got to make yourself do more than you did the day before, if possible. Got to do it. Everything should feel like a challenge. That's my workout tips for today. It says striving to be Superman. That's my other channel. One of my other channels. I don't put a lot on there lately though, because I haven't been doing my workouts on streaming my workouts as much. Come on, man. You gotta be almost done, right? Oh, you know what? I didn't think about it, but this might not. Oh, still going. Sometimes it takes a refresh to actually show that it stopped. I do have this little guy too, which seems to work pretty good, but I do have to refresh this one, I know. Oh, that one's not even showing that it's running. Well, that's weird. Ah, there it goes. Okay, we're done. Yay! All right, so if I go back here now and hit, well, it'll refresh itself, and then we have it here. Everybody's lowercase, so we don't have any uppercase. So if it's showing that there's a lowercase situation, when I go back over here, there is a. Oh, I see what I did. It wasn't even the fault of the. Oh man. Okay, look, I'm gonna show you. I set the tag to uppercase. The reference point tag is wrong. Silly me. Look. I put this in here as uppercase. It's go MS shall be lowercase. How am I supposed to expect that to work? I go. Alright, there you go. Man. Do goofy ball things. You know, so many learning things have happened in the last week. Sheesh. Why doesn't that work? It's not pasting it like it's supposed to. Okay, I don't know what just happened there. I still got the warnings, but this time it's downloading them correctly. And it's not building, which is... Oh, maybe it is building. Huh. Alright, well, still failed. But the tag is correct, and it downloaded them correct this time. So I got the images, which I don't think I got up here. Yeah, see, I didn't get the images here. They didn't work. So what? No, we didn't quite make it. So we're still having issues. Gosh dang nabbits, I thought this was the day. I thought this was it, man. I got one more issue forward and now I have this. I look at Docker IO. I'm going to do it one more time. I'll tell you why. I want to see this full line, and I think it's getting cut off, so I'm going to make my screen wider. What the heck? No. Why does that have a capital I? I thought I got rid of the capital I. Do I still? Oh. Oh, init integration has. Sheesh. Is that enough? Maybe that was a problem. We can hope. Wouldn't that be nice? Alright, so there's no more capitalizations in Go MS and integration. Okay. Oh, butts. Aha! We got it. It's all my fault, man. I was doing the wrong thing. But now it's downloading everything, and it completely caught everything. That doesn't guarantee everything's going to run. Doesn't guarantee I've got everything. It's looking pretty good though for the moment. We created. Now we got to wait for Mongo database, and once that comes up, if it hits healthy, the other things will load up in the priority. Oh, look at that! We got everything up and running. Oh boy, is this it, man? We have a PFFM test. Is everything running? Chingao. Sorry, that's a bad language word. Don't. I didn't mean it. Don't. Well, what the heck happened now? We had it all working. All right, let's go see what AMG Auth is complaining about. See if there's any info. Failed. Successfully loaded. So then why did it stop? It's like, okay, we got the file. Oh, of course it can't. So we got the file. It's correct. Hmm. So now it's not the M file's fault. We actually have an M file. All right, let's go see what one of these other ones. Now these other ones could be failing simply because AMG auth failed, because they depend on AMG auth. But let's go see what this one says. Oh, GitHub token not set. You know, that could be a problem, because it needs that to do the import. So where's the GitHub token? Wait, do I actually pass in the GitHub token? You know, I might not be doing, I may have to give it the GitHub token. I may not have added that front end, back end. Yes, I think I may be missing the GitHub token. All right, if I go to my secrets, do I have GitHub token defined? I think I may even have to define it. I don't even know if I have a secret set up for the GitHub token. But it needs the GitHub token. Because the imports won't work, and if some imports won't work, then the code won't compile. If it doesn't compile, things don't work. So I think I actually need to add the GitHub token. I kind of thought I had it, but I'm not seeing it anywhere. All right, let's go ahead and add it. So we're going to go down here, create a secret. We'll say GitHub _ token. Then I need to go get it because I don't know what it is. Here, GitHub token. You are somewhere. And then I have to go. Okay. And then I need to go up here. And we need to say GitHub. Oh, how do you like that? Sometimes it's pretty dang smart. Okay. And then we'll go back over here. I'll do a quick check to make sure everything is kosher. Common. Mm-hmm. I don't know what's going on with that file. Hold on. Ha ha ha. Never mind. Dude, I gotta put that back. I did a thing where I did a thing. So I was having issues, as you well know, trying to get everything to function. And what I did was I was trying to prove that I wasn't reading this file, and it worked. I was able to prove that it was crap. That's basically what I did. I proved that it was crap. It was doing what I didn't want it to do, and I was like, why are you doing this? And then when I don't know, what the heck is going on here? Oh, I should have gone on. All right. So what was the reason I say this is I was trying to figure out why the heck it would work on my local machine but didn't want to work anywhere else. And I was like, is it reading my local host file? And this is before I understood, again, how the code worked, right? You know, how Docker was doing its thing. And it finally occurred to me that it was reading my local system, and that's because of the stupid volumes, more learning stuff. So I proved it by deleting my M file, but I had to copy all the values inside and store them. And then I thought, oh. What was that? Something sounded like it fell over, but my drawer is this big, and it's like, what's falling? That was really weird. Okay. Where we go? So we got to do another build here. What did I change on here, by the way? Oh, I added the GitHub token. Hopefully that'll at least fix the GitHub token. And if the GitHub token is the problem, then we're good to go. Because it might be, because it's used in order for me to be able to do my my imports, I think. I don't know. There's some logic I haven't quite figured out. Okay, so it uses GitHub token, but there's some references and stuff there. It's weird. There's so many weird references the way things work. Love you guys. I'm trying to get my imports set up correctly, and using a token is a good secure way to do that. So your imports. I mean, do I care if it's available? Probably, because I have functions and stuff like that in there. But I guess there's no M files. I mean, they're basic stuff. I don't know. Maybe they're not that big of a deal. There's probably no real need to secure it. Probably didn't need to do that. But we'll see. I'm going to give it a chance here. Whoa. I have a lot of local ones, too. I didn't know I had all these local ones. Honestly, I thought I deleted all these. "19 minutes ago." Huh. It's probably because these ones are currently running, which is quite fine. or they belong to this guy. Those are just the images that don't belong to anybody anymore. They were the deprecated ones. Alrighty, what time is it? Oh, 9:50. I should probably call it. We'll get this running. This is going to get running. I think we're really uber duper super duper. I mean, just this freaking far away, and then I can get I'll do the production one, which I think will be just it'll be the same kind of thing, except I have to create a workflow for production that triggers. I want to install. You know what? Let's take a quick look. I got 8 minutes to see if I can at least start this process. You know what? Let's go to this one. How do I set up a GitHub workflow? All right, let's actually do something even better. Let's give it the information it needs, because I am going to take my test, this one. We're going to put it over here. And then we're going to go like this. And then we're going to go Control F. And we're going to go tag. Let's see. Everything that says test, I'm going to turn it into prod. I'm going to replace all of it. There are no tests? The word test never shows up in here at all? It's like, what? Okay. Really? Huh. Okay. Right. Now we're going to go back over to here. We're going to go, how do I set up this GitHub workflow to trigger on pull request merge to main branch that will auto deploy to my local let's say we'll auto deploy to Docker Hub images, and then auto build auto start on my local machine using public IP tool like ngrok. See if this works. Am I asking too much of you, or is this actually what I can do? Oh, it's still building. Oh, install ngrok. Where is that getting installed at? I have to install it. Name, start ngrok tunnel. Get an ngrok. No, oh, wow, this is doing a lot of stuff. Triggers only when PR is merged to main. Uses pull request merge equals true. Ensure MongoDB is ready before starting services. Adds a sleep 20. Uses proper Docker image tagging. Avoids illegal characters and Docker image tags. Installs and runs ngrok to expose gRPC gateway. Retrieves and logs the public ngrok URL. What happens after PR merge? All sounds good. All right, I might just copy it, because really I can start over. Because at this point I know exactly where the source is. It's really just my test one, right? I do want to clear up some of this, but it did kind of clean things up. Not sure. Huh. So it totally did not do all the M stuff. It totally is not doing all the same stuff, which is going to be a problem. I guarantee. I guarantee it's not going to work. Not going to work at all. Because it's not building my... Why is it not building my M files? Yeah, that totally is not going to work. It's going to be missing all my M files crap. Ngrok Auth. See, I got to go get my Ngrok Auth token. I don't even have one of those yet. It's like, here, you're going to need this. It's like, oh, okay. So I need to fix this to get the right M's, and I need to go get one of these. I have to go set up my Ngrok. I don't have Ngrok set up yet. Get Ngrok URL. I probably have to set this too. Yeah, well, you know, we're getting there. One thing at a time, man. We got the basics. Got the basics set up. Alright. So this should be NE11, so I should be able to refresh this. There's our 11. Copy. Go on back to my Docker stuff. What? Go back over here. And we go over here. And we go. This will be my last run of the night, so if it don't work, well, we'll just have to settle for being really dang closer than we were before. That's all I can live with. I'll have to live with it for now. So we pulled them, or we're pulling them, get front end down. Now it's going to try to build them. Everything's going to start coming up, and hopefully this will turn totally blue. But if it only turns like half blue, that means we only got a couple of things running. But it's just creating them right now, so I don't have anything. So we got a couple of things starting, got healthy started, but we are not totally blue. So we will have problems. Gateway test is at least temporarily up. Successfully loaded. Oh, we got the right ones. I'm so happy. Look at that. These are the beautiful ones. And we got the GitHub token set. Oh my gosh, everybody's so happy. I'm so happy. What's not running though? AMG auth is not running. That one's kind of important. We kind of need that one to work. Everybody's got all the right stuff. This is all very good. This is all very good, except for this one. Failed to create store. Failed to connect to MongoDB. Error parsing URI. Invalid host. Too many colons in address. That looks like an easy fix. I think we're going to be able to fix that one. I don't know why it's off or what's going on, but I think that'll be an easy fix. Till tomorrow.